From the studios of Staten Island Community Television, you are watching In the Bleachers, the TV show for the world's most passionate sports fans. Hello, everyone. I'm Tom Brady's new agent, also known as Jaime Hixson. Now, we're trying to wait for Hector Bosa to call in from home. We seem to be having more telephone difficulties once again. So in the meantime, I guess we could just talk along until he arrives via the phone lines. But before I do, I want to give an early birthday wish to Kenny Graham, who's on the other side of the glass. He has been the man for who knows how long here at CTV, and I just want to give my appreciation to him by giving him some birthday wishes immediately. So, in the meantime, we want to let you know that if you have a story that you would like to have told about something that's going on here on Staten Island, we would love to hear about it. So contact us through Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, which, by the way, are all of the avenues in which our reruns are being shown. And we would love to hear from you. And I just got word from Kenny that Hector is all set on the phone. Are you there, Hector? Well, I guess we have another phone problem. We're going to try again at some point. We're going to try again, and we're going to see if we can get him on the line. In the meantime, the big headline, of course, is what happened yesterday at the Super Bowl between the Buccaneers and the Chiefs. This just goes to show you that Tom Brady is still great at what he does. 43, 33, or 23, or whatever age he is, Tom Brady is still an elite player who keeps himself in tremendous shape and has an insatiable will to win. I don't think I don't remember anyone except maybe for Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. All right. I actually just got a text message from Hector right now. He said he's still trying to call in. So we're going to try and get him on here as soon as possible. Anyway, I don't remember one single athlete since maybe Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant who has had as much of a will to win as Tom Brady has. I mean, the numbers that he had were not great. Let's put it that way. He only threw for 201 yards. But he threw the ball with precision. He threw the ball with a lot of crispness. He threw the ball with real pinpoint accuracy, about as accurate as he's been in the last 10 or 15 years when you think about it. And what about his other ex-teammate on the Patriots, Rob Gronkowski? This just goes to show you that those two work about as well together as any quarterback-receiver duo in this game. And it's gotten to the point where those guys could be maybe intertwined in the Hall of Fame. I mean, Gronkowski has become such, or has long been, I should say, such a physical player for defenses to have to put up with. He's probably the single most difficult matchup for any defensive back or linebacker to try and go up against. Anyway, but as good as Brady was yesterday, you can also give kudos to the Tampa Bay defense for putting on a major pass rush the way they did against the Kansas City quarterback. And it's gotten to the point where now teams may game plan against Patrick Mahomes in which they may want to do a little bit of a pass rush against him. Now, does this mean that maybe there's a bit of a weak spot in that Kansas City offensive line? I don't know. But it does go to show you that they did discover a bit of a weakness on that KC O-line. They didn't really have an answer for that pass rush of theirs. Now, as far as let's see what we have here. Yes. Okay. Try into the other line now. Yeah, there's somebody there. Okay. It seems like anything and everything can happen on this show, including taking phone calls on an iPhone. All right, that was actually Hector, and he's trying to call in right now, so we could see if he can make his way through. There seems to be a bit of an issue with that phone. He just hung up? Okay. Anyway, there should be more people to congratulate than just Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. How about the defensive coordinator for the Buccaneers?
Who's the coordinator for the Buccaneers?
Oh! Now you finally decide to crash your way.
I was busy. There was a woman. I can't say what she was doing, but she was having satisfactions with me.
Can you stop, please?
Don't be jealous from the great one himself.
I ain't jealous of you.
Man on cable access TV.
I ain't jealous of you.
Being privileged to be on your show because you're privileged to have me. Because I'm Mr. Excitement. I'm Mr. Dynamite. Because I'm all right. Because I'm out of sight.
The only dynamite that should be talked about here is the one that should be stuffed down your throat so your head can explode.
Oh, please. That's jealousy talking, my man. That's
I ain't jealous of you.
Jealousy trip, man.
Why would I be jealous of somebody who smells like malt liquor?
In my shopping mall, dude. I got it all. It's in my shopping mall. I got tall women, short women. No, well, not flat-chested women now.
You ain't got nobody except your damn self.
But
and the freaking blow-up doors that you always have.
I got a lot. The problem is, and you've seen the pictures, you've seen my crime, and I've done my time. So what are you talking about? Why are you always hating on the man? Instead of
that stuff is Photoshop. Come on now.
You got a woman. I said, good for you. She's beautiful. She's a nice person. I'm always reaching for you. But no, what do? Oh, you're doing this. Oh, stop hating the player. You just play
I'm
the
not
game.
hating.
You're playing.
I'm not hating nobody. I'm putting you in your place.
Yeah, you put it in my place. Can't put nobody in your place. But going on, continuing. Todd Bowles coming through for the Buccaneers.
That's Todd Bowles, idiot.
Jets. Right?
That's Todd Bowles.
That's what I said. Todd Bowles.
You said Pat Bowles.
I didn't say Pat Bowles.
Yes, you did, you little
He's
liar.
not a damn frog. He's not a baby frog.
Just get along with it, please.
Fine. I'll get along with the program now, since you got your rant rave out of your system. So, Todd Bowles, who was the coordinator for the Jets, is it because he had better players, or what happened there that he couldn't do with the Jets?
Execute. They were able to execute a game plan last night.
And what they were saying, that it was very simple. It wasn't that complicated.
No, it really wasn't. All they had to do was do against the Chiefs' offensive line and against Mahomes what other teams were not able to do as much as they should.
Well, I got to tell you, yesterday's defense and their offensive line really saved Tom Brady's behind. The defense did great, and you feel sorry for the poor guy because you want him in the best shape possible, even though he had a bad toe problem. And people always think, well, you have a bad toe, it shouldn't be no problem. But when you got to run and put pressure on something, that's a problem. He had trouble running, but you see him trying to run, trying to escape. And that offensive line for the Chiefs, the other guys were better. You got to give it to them. The other guys were a lot. I can't say they weren't hungrier. I just said that they played a lot better because they went through them like Swiss cheese. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
Because I tell you the truth, because when Todd Bowles was on the Jets, he had decent players, right?
He had some decent players, not a whole lot of them, though.
Because when he was here, he didn't execute properly. And then when it came to timeouts or the clock, he didn't know what he was doing. Am I right about that or am I wrong?
Yeah, you're right about that, too.
Wow. That should be great. So what do you think about what I'm saying? Because like I said, they had better players. They really did. They had the better players. And they're young, too. Now, I wish they would stop the aging thing and start going, oh, well, he's 42 and the oldest coach in the league was 69 years old.
He's still great.
The age, and that's what I've been saying. Age is not a problem sometimes if you keep yourself in shape. And because if he was on another team, let's say the Giants or the Jets, and their offensive line does not hold up, then what good is it to have a great quarterback? The only time that's only good for sometimes is when he's like a fantastic quarterback, like Tom Brady and the other guy. I forgot his name, from the Chiefs. If you have great quarterbacks, sometimes you play harder for that guy. You play harder because he'll get you out of the mess. The guy the guy that got just retired last year, Drew Brees. His team wasn't that good, but when you have a damn good quarterback that tells you, hey, guys, you really are good. You really are great. Just hold them off of me, and I'll do what I can. They'll listen. So in that aspect, he took a team that was probably second or first to last place and brought him up because they weren't supposed to make the playoffs the way they keep on describing. So in that aspect, do you think that teams now will copy them? Because that's what they always do. They try to copycat. So what do you think is going to happen now?
As far as copycat is concerned, probably. Yeah. But I think the guy that you were thinking of who just retired is Phillip Rivers.
Oh, okay, Phillip Rivers. Because I thought it was Drew Brees because he was on a team. Oh, was it Drew Brees or the guy from Indianapolis?
Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, okay, him. He was a damn good quarterback. It's just that
he always was a good quarterback. He just played on some teams that disappointed.
So maybe he'll stay out a year and play. If he plays for a team that knows that can help him out, because that's what they do sometimes. They'll take a year off, get recuperated, and then go and say, all right, well, now I found the best team that I know that can play for me and that I can play for them. But at this point in time, they played a hell of a game. I'm telling you. The Buccaneers played a hell of a game.
Of course they did. They won by 22.
And Gronk, coming out of retirement, Jason Paul-Pierre.
You mean Jason Pierre-Paul?
Yeah, that one.
The ex-Giant. Now winning his second title.
So, but like I said, they made a big thing about the oldest coach in the league. I wish they would stop doing the oldest, the number thing sometimes. Because I know you should give him credit because, all right, an older person did something a younger person should have been doing a lot better. The young gun versus the old gunslinger. I get it. I really do get it. But in your opinion, what do you think of all that about the aging and them focusing so much on the age instead of focusing on the fact that the man still can play in a productive stage because he got good linemen and everything else?
I hate to tell you this, man, but everybody uses age all the time. I mean, and it's not just in sports either. It's in everyday life as well. Age is always brought up, and especially in sports, if a guy is not performing up to par, his age is going to be brought up. If he's not running as quickly, his age is going to be brought up. If he's not throwing the ball well, his age is going to be brought up. If he's not swinging the bat with as much quickness as he has in the past, his age is going to be brought up. If he doesn't have the mileage on his fastball like he did 10 years earlier, his age is going to be brought up. It's a simple.
So would you say that would be age discrimination?
No. There's no discrimination involved whatsoever. It's just by what they go.
I know there's discrimination
what they go by what they
in most of the leagues when it comes to hiring minorities.
Now there is where you can talk about discrimination.
You got damn good football coaches and everything out there. And they don't want to hire minorities. They don't even want minorities to be owners anymore. They really don't. The whole system is bad for the minority people. And that's a fact. Because if you see all the people that own everything and that are GMs and so forth, I'm not saying that they're not qualified. I'm not saying that they are qualified. I'm just saying that there are times where they don't give people a chance. And they're putting some people in a no-win situation where they'll go, okay, well, he did this all right, and then the other guy will take the credit because he'll get him to where he has to get him to. He'll get him to the next step. But there are hardly any minority coaches, and there are hardly any minorities of any type Oh, there may be a few scattered here and there, but they're hardly anything. No owners, no nothing. And then when you start talking about discrimination here, discrimination there, oh, no, we're not. Yes, they are. And people are hearing this. But, like the oldest pitcher, not the oldest pitcher, the oldest pitching coach from last year for the Mets, he did well. He did well. And what did they talk about? This old man coming out of retirement. Did they give him the little bit of credit that he deserved? Somewhat. But the game was fantastic. It was a one-sided game. What happened to the Chiefs?
What happened to the Chiefs was they weren't able to solve that Tampa defense. A lot of it had to do with the Buccaneers dropping two safeties deep in center field, if you will. And because of that, Patrick Mahomes was not able to throw the ball as deep as he wanted to. And when he did, there were the safeties there waiting to make a play.
Yeah, and his offensive line, like I said, as good as they were, or should I say as good as they are, the other team was going through them like Swiss cheese, man. How many times did he get sacked?
That I know of, 2.
3? I could have sworn 3, but okay.
Maybe it was 3.
Because he went down and they rushed him like hell. Remember that beautiful pass that he threw while he was falling?
Yeah.
And the guy missed it?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. I was going to at least catch him for the dude. He's playing his heart out. The third quarter towards the end and the last quarter, he played his heart out trying to make the team better. How could you throw an accurate throw like that?
That's just the kind of player that he is.
He'll be back again. I'm sure he will.
The Chiefs are already favorites to win next year's Super Bowl.
I don't know about that. I really don't know about that one, but I can see him going to the Super Bowl a lot of times, depending upon who the coach is and how the team stands, and if he doesn't get any major problems, any major injuries. So, other than that, what else do you have to say about the game?
The game itself did not have the pomp and circumstance as previous year's Super Bowls. Of course, that's because the coronavirus was really overwhelming the atmosphere. There were only 25,000 fans at the stadium.
And I noticed everybody was wearing a mask. That's nice.
Mm-hmm. And they also had the cardboard cutouts of other fans as well.
That's good. Listen, better to be safe than sorry. I'm sure a lot of people would have said, I'm all right. They should have packed the stadium. No. It's like those people that don't like to wear masks. Okay, fine. You don't want to wear it, but you're forgetting about the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
Such as the people that don't like to cover their noses, the people that like to use their mask as a chin strap. You got people around you. You don't care about your fellow human being. It's not a constitutional right. No. If you're hurting someone, that's where the Constitution kicks in, because the Constitution says that you can't hurt people around you. That's the truth, because Rosanna's always preaching it. But I'm glad everybody stays safe. The halftime show.
I like the halftime show because I'm a big fan of The Weeknd.
And it was funny, too, because he had plastic surgery. And I think when somebody asked him about the plastic surgery, none of your business. Good. That's his problem. Why? I know people are trying to make money and they're trying to gossip and all, but if people want to do something, let it be. Well, if the guy wants to talk about it, fine. If the guy don't want to talk about it, fine. Don't call him, oh, well, he's bad and he's this and he's that, like most people. No. You have a right to keep your mouth shut. It's your personal business. So which commercials, since everybody likes to talk about the commercials, which commercials did you like?
I like the Budweiser, the Bud Light commercial that had all of the actors from the past.
Yeah, that was good. The one that I liked was the Bruce Springsteen one.
Yeah.
And it got some backlash. Donald Trump weighed in on it. There were some people that weighed in on it as well. Stupid things like, oh, he rode in the middle of the road. Oh, that's not true. Everything has become so political that it's getting more and more ridiculous to be, you know what, we're human beings. We're forgetting that we're human beings. It's not about red or blue anymore. It's about getting together like human. It's like saying, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat, 9/11 came, I'm not going to help you. And it's a shame that the only time when people start using their Christian values and whatever else religious values that you have, that's when you start helping people. Other than that, you forget about every damn religion values that you have. I don't understand it. But that was a good one. I liked that one. Just trying to get together, forget about everything else. Let's try to patch things up. That one was good. There was two funny ones, too. Did you like the Will Ferrell one going up against Norway?
Oh, that was ridiculous. There was also the DoorDash one with Mike Myers and Dana Carvey and also Cardi B.
Yeah, and Costanza. What's his name? I forgot his real name. Why are you wearing my face?
Give me back my face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, of course, is Costanza from Seinfeld.
But there were some good ones. There were some political ones. If people really understood what it meant about being together and whatever, just forget it and just get together. But other than that, in baseball, because we were talking about it before, right now, Masahiro Tanaka left New York Yankees. He said he wanted to come back. The Yankees are loaded with pitchers. Do you think they could have signed him again?
They could have, but he wanted way too much money. I think he wanted $20 million for the upcoming season, and the Yankees just were not willing to meet that number. So now he's back in Japan, and he's going to be pitching for his original team from the Japanese league.
He also said he wanted to win a championship game over there too. Before it comes back, he wants to come back, and he says he wants to come back to the Yankees. Now let's see if that happens.
Well, we'll see. It depends on how long his contract with his Japanese league team is.
I think it's 2 years or 3.
2 years?
2 years or 3. I'm not sure. It's about that. It's not a 5-year contract because the man wants to come back. You can't be in the system for 5 years and then go, I'm 40-something years old. Unless you can, keep yourself in shape and so on. People are scared of age, like we were talking about before.
It's not that they're scared of age. They just go by what they see performance-wise.
That's true, too. Let me ask you, who's the oldest pitcher in the league right now?
The oldest pitcher in the league right now?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Because before it was the White Sox guy, the knuckleballer. And he said as long as his hits were okay, because that's where he's got most of his power.
That's a good question. I'm not really sure.
Oh, okay. Well, find out. But have the Yankees improved that they could make it to the World Series? Or you know they're going to make the playoffs, or you hope they're going to make the playoffs. But with all the signings that they've made,
Well,
are they going in the right direction, or are they going in the wrong direction?
the batting order is practically the same as it was last year. Pitcher-wise, I think that they got a bargain in getting Corey Kluber for a year, and also making the deal with San Diego to get Jameson Taillon, I think was very, very undersided, if you will.
Because they all had problems with injuries.
Yeah, they both had problems with injuries. Let's see what Kluber can do for this coming season. He could be either a valuable number 2, or he can be a major bust. No one knows what to expect from the guy.
Well, you're signing him for a year, so you're just taking a chance.
Yeah.
And the money that they gave him, it's like a drop in the bucket.
$11 million.
Exactly. For us, it's something, but for them, the owners and so forth, that's not much, because they have a limit. So they're saying, okay, if this guy's a bust, we lose him. Okay, fine. They give themselves some wiggle room, because not all of them are going to be great. There's going to be some busts in the way. So they signed about what, 3 or 4 pitches for 1 year?
I know Kluber got a year. Taillon is under contract for about a year or 2. There's also... Oh, keep in mind, they still have guys coming back that could probably go for the 4th or 5th starter's job. There's still the matter of Domingo Germán, who's going to be coming back from his suspension. Luis Severino is supposed to be still in rehab from Tommy John surgery. Jordan Montgomery and the 2 kid pitchers, Davy Garcia and Clark Schmidt. Those are 5 guys that they could probably slot in as the number 4 or 5 guys.
And they can use some of them other guys for middle relief too.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't have middle relievers, do they?
They still do. I mean, there's still Aroldis Chapman, who's the closer. Ben Heller also. Chad Green, they could use in long relief. Also, Jonathan Holder as well. Michael King also, they could probably use. What's that?
The actor, Michael Caine?
Michael King, King.
Go ahead.
Like I said, the actor Michael King, King.
Okay.
Not to be confused with Michael Caine, the actor, Caine.
Exactly. I'm sorry if I misunderstood. But
so there are options for the Yankees to consider.
Who would be their closer? I mean, besides Chapman.
Chapman would be the closer. If I'm not mistaken, I think Chad Green would be the
alternate closer.
A potential closer down the road in the event that Chapman either gets traded or gets let go in free agency.
Do you think he'll really leave?
At this point, anything is possible. I mean, in the event that they fall out of contention, they might be able to trade him to get some prospects for their farm system.
Well, here's another thing to consider, too, which I read in the newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the Yankees said that they may make a big deal soon. They may trade 1 or 2 of their young dudes so that they can get another player.
I think I know what they could use too. A left-handed hitter.
I would be assuming that too. I forgot where they said they were going to get the guy from. But
their entire batting order is right-handed hitters, except maybe for
LeMahieu.
DJ LeMahieu.
He's a switch hitter, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
That's a lost start too.
Yep.
Being a switch hitter, that's a damn lost start.
Mm-hmm. Tell you what, though, there's one kid that the Yankees could be bankrolling their future on for potential championships and potential prestige and so much more.
Who's that?
Jason Dominguez. He's an 18-year-old, 6'5" slugger who was signed for a lot of money a few years ago, and they're bankrolling on him to be the next great superstar that the Yankees have in their farm system. I think if I'm not mistaken, he's an outfielder. And he's somebody who could probably be used either in center field or left field or maybe right field in the event that something goes amiss with Aaron Judge, because that's one guy that suddenly some question marks are being raised about is Aaron Judge.
Judge and the other dude.
And also Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah, he's a good hitter when he's there. But every time he gets hurt, he can't stay in it for one season without. It's always a major injury with him. It's not minor. And the Yankees are carrying his contract, and they can't get rid of him because that's a hefty contract that they have.
Yeah.
And you would figure, he came in with a reputation that he was a very good hitter. He was a decent fielder. And he was going to make life easy and then get you to the playoffs and the World Series. But what has he really done within the years that he's been there?
Mm-hmm.
Is Judge that has produced more, even though he's failed in the World Series.
He's also been losing valuable time, manpower-wise, because he's been hurt.
That's another thing, too. It's getting to if you want to go back to the years of old, not too far back, let's say 70s and 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
When did you ever hear of a baseball player being out for so long like these guys? Unless it was a major, major injury.
That I know of?
Huh?
That I know of?
Yeah. If you compare them, let's say, to the 70s and 80s, and even, let's say, 90s, right, to the players of 2000,
mm-hmm.
I've seen more injuries with these players than with that era.
Yeah.
Even though we have modern technology, we have this, we have that, and the old players could have probably survived better if they kept themselves in better shape, let's say, whatever. But you have the new guys coming up with all this modern technology and all this, and all they're doing is getting hurt more and more. So where does the line of what's happening? What do you think is happening?
Well, too much of an emphasis on weightlifting is one problem. Another problem is they're not using calisthenics or cardio as much as they really should. for example, Aaron Judge, he missed a lot of time this season. I think he missed 2/3 of the year because it was hurt. So he decided to go with one trainer's plan where he would use yoga. Now, I'm not sure if that would be a good idea for everybody because yoga is not for everybody.
But most exercises are not for everybody. You got to do what your body tells you to. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right on that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But Aaron Judge is banking on the use of yoga. And the same thing with Giancarlo Stanton. They're both banking on the use of yoga to try and stretch out their muscles a little bit, or relax the muscles, I should say.
Well, remember Mr. Baseball with Tom, the guy from Magnum PI?
Yeah, you mean Tom Selleck?
Yeah. Remember Mr. Baseball when he went to the Asian...
when he went to Japan?
Yeah, when he went to Japan, the first thing they did was calisthenics.
Yeah.
I don't hear and see that major players get hurt that much.
That's right, because the calisthenics really work for certain players.
I mean, I know it doesn't work for all, but at least you'll loosen up. Mm-hmm. You know? You may not like it, and that's a fact. You may not like calisthenics, but if it's going to help you and it's going to help the team, because I know that in most places it's about the team and not about the person.
Right.
Unless they're one of those outstanding players that they're trying to get into the American Baseball League. Because that's where you're going to make the most money, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
But besides speaking about the Yankees, the people across the aisle, the New York Mets.
Yeah.
What's their downfall and what's their upside?
Their downfall is the fact that they were not able to get the pitcher that wound up going to the Dodgers.
No defensive ball players?
Wait, what was that?
I said no defensive ball players because I was reading on the headline that they had trouble with defensive ball players.
Yeah, defense was a major problem for them last year. Not only that, but they have very little depth on their bench.
Well, they gave it away.
They pretty much gave it away. I mean, after your starters, I mean, all you've got are maybe 1, 2, 3, 5 guys that you would have to come off your bench, and I'm not really sure if that's a good enough or strong enough bench for any major league team to go with.
Nah, 5 players? Nah, that's not good at all. That really isn't. 5 players? Nah, that's not good. Because in baseball, how many games now? 160, 159, somewhere around there?
162.
Oh, they're still playing 162?
Yep. They the union rejected the proposal that the league had where they would play 154 games. They still want their 162 win.
Because they want that extra playoffs game, right?
Yeah, they want that money too. 162 games is a lot of money for these guys.
I know everything is about money. And then they have the nerve to say, but we as players care about the fans. At what point do you care about the fans? Where do they stand about the fans? Yes, they give money away. Yes, they have charities. But when you want to see baseball or any type of games, how is that caring about the fans?
It's not.
But they still say we care about the fans because we give the charity, we do this, we do that. That's fine. But because they're in a higher level, we as human beings that make as much money as we could and not making their type of money, we're going to say, well, we want more from you.
Yeah.
Because they're making so much money. And I'm going, but they're not making as much money as you think.
Mm-hmm.
Because they got to put their kids through the best colleges they want. Yeah, they're making a lot of money. They're investing and so forth, but we don't hear about them losing money either. And in their bad investments. I mean, look at what was it, Hollywood? The restaurant Hollywood? The one that's Stallone.
You mean Planet Hollywood?
Yeah, Planet Hollywood with Stallone and Van Damme and I think Schwarzenegger and a couple other ones. They took that hit.
Yeah,
but
they took a hit, all right.
a lot, but they still took a hit. And I'm sure the smart ones know how to do their taxes properly, that they can get away with a lot of murder. And the ones that they're going, you know what, I'm going to pay my taxes, give it as much as I can because I'm making a lot of money already. But it all depends how they spend their money. That's the thing. We don't know how they spend their money. So, yeah. But all in all, are the Mets in good shape?
I mean, they're in pretty good shape so far. I mean, they have a really strong pitching staff, even though they lost out on Trevor Bauer. That was the pitcher that I was thinking of. It's Trevor Bauer who passed on the Mets to sign with the Dodgers. And it was for a load of money, too. Speaking of which, 3 years and $102 million, if I'm not mistaken.
But they got a better team, though. If you match it up with the Mets,
the Dodgers are twice as good as the Mets are on paper right now, and a lot of people are saying that maybe the Dodgers can repeat as champions this year.
I would love to see a Yankee-Dodger game.
Now that would be something else. Yankees versus Dodgers in the World Series. That would be something.
Do you know how much time they would talk about Billy Martin and Tommy Lasorda?
Oh, boy. Yeah, that reminds us. Tommy Lasorda actually passed away recently.
Yeah. There's a lot of players and actors that have passed.
Mm-hmm.
But the New York teams should be okay. Unless there's another major injury that's about to come, they should be okay.
For now, the Yankees and the Mets are okay, but let's see what they do on the diamond. Because
what do you think about the owner?
You mean
the Mets owner?
Steven Gross, you mean?
Yes. What do you think about him?
I mean, he's done well so far.
Did he keep his promise on trying to do what he said he was going to do?
I think so. He has. I mean, even though they have missed out on a couple of guys, they still wound up getting some guys that really made other people turn their heads. For example, Francisco Lindor, getting him to be the everyday shortstop now.
And that other pitcher that came with him, too.
Carlos Carrasco, yeah.
So they're not doing too bad. It's just that they have to show people that they'll be in contention for a while.
Yeah.
Once they show people that they're in contention, there's going to be a lot of players that are going to want to play with them. That's my opinion. if you want to play for a winner, you got to show them that you can win.
Yeah. And also, speaking of the Mets, they wound up trading away Steven Matz to the Blue Jays for a trio of players.
What do you think of that?
I think it's going to be I think it's actually a good deal for the Blue Jays because I still think that Steven Matz has a little something left in the tank. He's still a young guy. And he's a left-handed pitcher, which is what seems to be lacking in this game right now. Southpaws seem to be lacking both at the plate and on the mound for some reason.
There was only 2 pitchers that were ambidextrous. The Oakland A's had him. He came from Boston, right?
Yeah, Pat Venditti.
Yeah, and there was another dude that I think there was only 2 pitchers that were ambidextrous.
Well, Pat Venditti is the one that I can think of.
But they're not doing too well. Some of these guys. Do you think that the majority of the people that they bring up do well enough to make it to the?
You mean the ambidextrous guys? Are you talking about the ambidextrous guys?
No, I'm just talking in general because it seems like most of these younger people that they say, oh, this guy's going to be great, this guy's going to be great, and they're not great. They're not even good. If out of 100%, only 2% really are what they say they are?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think about the Staten Island Yankees not having the Staten Island Yankees anymore? Not that they drew any big crowds.
Yeah, that is about as disappointing of a loss as any game on the baseball diamond. To not have the Staten Island Yankees in Staten Island anymore really does defy logic because even though their attendance was down, whatever fans they did draw, those fans were really good fans, and the atmosphere was family friendly.
Yeah, it's just that for some anything that Staten Island touches, they don't want. They didn't want NASCAR, and only lasted 6 weeks. What did they talk about? Traffic, pollution, so forth. We tried to get the New York Jets. What did they talk about? Traffic, pollution. We don't want them nearby. When they got the Staten Island Yankees, instead of going, let me go to the game, let me go to the game, let me go to the game, so we can support our team, they didn't support their team. They really didn't. Mm-hmm. The only time they actually got a big crowd is when they got the Cyclones. That was it.
Yeah.
I know they're single-A people. They're just starting. But if you're going to support a team, support them.
Yep.
But... Oh, switching. Basketball.
Right.
The terrific trio. And they may get more players along the way.
So I've heard.
See? You get good players. People want to play for that team.
You're talking about Harden and Durant and also Kyrie Irving.
When he's on the court.
And when he has his head on straight, too. And not taking personal time off to do who knows what.
Sometimes people got to get their head straight. Some people have a lot on their minds. We keep on thinking because money is supposed to solve everything. But they got personal things that they have to take care of that money can't do anything and everything.
Yeah, but explain dancing in a video without a mask on.
Also, stupidity kicks in.
Exactly.
Look at the world around you. He's not the only one. People that rushed on January 6th, most of them didn't have masks.
Yeah.
Look at all those people that don't cover their noses or use their masks as chin straps. No. They don't care about people around them. They care about themselves. And then they have the audacity going, well, if I die, so what? And then when you're in the hospital, You're praying, going, "Oh no, please, God, save me." But you're the one that asked for it. I don't know. Stop being a hypocrite.
Yeah. Well, all I can say is they better hope to win as many games as possible, because when they're not together, everything looks completely different. Not only that, but even when they are together, you could see the weaknesses on the Nets just wholeheartedly.
Well, here's something that you have to think about, too. If one or two of them go down, can the other one pick that up? And that's what they're banking on. Because remember where Harden came from. He was the only guy really doing what he had to do. Mm-hmm. Even though they brought in other players. Right. So, and before him, he was the man on that team. Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm.
When he came from other teams, he was the man. Kyrie Irving doesn't want to be the man. He just wants to be a player. I get it. I understand it. But at some point, if both of your buddies go down, you got to rack it up and put that team on your back, because you got to make the other players look like Tom Brady did.
Yeah.
And some other ones.
Mm-hmm.
But and the New York Knicks made a grand big trade.
Yeah, they wound up getting Derrick Rose, and I mean, they're not terrible. They're still 3 games under 500.
But they're in 6th place.
La-di-da.
Hey, if they stay where they're at, they'll be in 6th place and make the playoffs.
Let's see them win more games, first of all.
That's fine. I agree with you on that. Let's see them win more games. Hell, let's see them make the first round. But I'll be glad if they make the playoffs, because it's been how long? And if they make the playoffs, that means they're going in somewhat the right direction.
7 years since their last playoff game.
Yeah.
And also, there are rumors that they might be interested in a one-time player of theirs, Elfrid Payton. Not really sure why. Would it be to back up Rose at the point guard spot? I'm not really sure.
Well,
I'm not too thrilled about it because Elfrid Payton represents a time when the Knicks were awful.
But now they're better. Maybe they just want them to coach R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel Quigley. And when this guy comes back, the defensive specialist, what's his name? I forgot his name. And some of the other guys, even they're praising 1 or 2 guys from the G League. So I think the move for Dennis Smith Jr. going to Detroit will be beneficial to him, because now he can start more. Because he had a name. You know that.
Yeah.
Dennis Smith Jr. came with a really good name, very popular, very good. What happened to him? Was he coached badly? Was it him? Was it both?
Well,
was it
him not being healthy was one problem. Another problem was he had no jump shot. Well, unfortunately, Kenny's giving me the wind-up signal.
He's giving you the finger?
What's that?
He's giving you the finger?
The wind-up signal.
Oh, okay.
You are an evil, evil man, I swear. Thanks to Kenny Graham, the birthday boy on the other side of the glass.
Happy birthday to Kenny.
So for everyone here, for Hector on the other side of the phone, for Kenny on the other side of the glass, I'm Jamie.
I'm Hector.
In the words of the immortal John Minko, you have yourself a good evening.
Bye.